And welcome to our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. The federal government and the International Criminal Police Organization have commenced the process of extraditing the Binance chief, Nadim Ajawa, who escaped from detention on March 22nd. Security agencies had in February arrested Ajawala and Tijan Gambayan, two executives of the cryptocurrency firm Binance Holdings Limited, over alleged money laundering. They were detained in a safe house in Abuja on the order of the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu. Among other charges, the firm and the two executives were arraigned for $35,400,000 money laundering at the Federal High Court, Abuja. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the detention of a Nigerian accused of being a member of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, Emmanuel Osase, for 60 days. The trial judge, Eyan Ekwo, gave the order following a motion of ex parte filed by the Department of State Services marked FHC ABJ CS 409-2024. At the proceedings, the applicant's counsel, A.A. Uge, told the court that the matter was brought pursuant to Section 66(1) of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. He prayed the court for an order enabling the applicant to detain the respondent for 60 days pending the conclusion of the investigation. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, says security agencies will go after individuals with fake university certificates in the country. According to the minister, the individuals will be tracked after the committee set up by the federal government to investigate the activities of university certificate vacatiers in the country, submit its report. The federal government had set up an interministerial investigative committee on degree certificate mailing to probe the activities of certificate vacatiers following an investigative report which exposed the activities of degree mills in the Benin Republic. So, and moving on, the chairman of the House Representative Committee on Disability says the unfortunate discriminatory treatment at Adebola Daniel by the KFC outlet at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport is a wake-up call for the full implementation of the Disability Act signed into law in 2019 by the previous administration. Fauzia Lukman has details.
Daniel, a wheelchair user, faced humiliation when he was refused entry into the KFC outlet when the manager wrote "No wheelchairs allowed." This treatment, according to him, is unacceptable and goes against the principle of inclusivity and respect, and it is a violation against the Disability Act.
Committee has already sent out invitations to KFC. We're in touch with Mr. Adebola Daniel, and letter has also gone out to FAN. The committee could not take up a physical investigation right now, because if you follow, they say FAN has closed the KFC. So even if we want to do a surprise oversight, which is allowed, we can't go inside there. And we also found out that the DG actually was also not around, because it's a holiday period. So yes is the answer. There will be investigation, but the investigation will follow house rules. On investigation, this is what we have done on the investigation. We've gone to the floor to move the motions for the whole House to give us the authority to investigate compliance.
While commending the Speaker of the House for establishing the Committee on Disability, Honorable Bashir Daudu also commended the speed with which government intervened in resolving the dispute between Daniel and KFC, while assuring that the committee will work assiduously through its oversight functions with all relevant agencies to ensure that the Disability Act is fully implemented in the country.
Section 1 of the law prohibition of discrimination, and awareness programs. In subsection 1, he said, and I quote, "A person with disability shall not be discriminated against on the ground of his disability by any person or institution in any manner or circumstance." If you go to section 2, which is just the two sections I will mention, because I would like to get a few questions from you. In section 2, a person with disability has the right to access the physical environment and buildings on an equal basis with others.
He says the focus is on enhancing the lives of persons with disabilities and preventing incidents such as what happened to the likes of Daniels through robust implementation of the Disability Act. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News.
The Federal Capital Territory Police Command combed suspected kidnappers' hideouts and routes in the hills and bushes surrounding Apuri settlement in Abuja. The command's public relations officer, SP Josephine Ade, disclosed this in a statement. The statement read, "The operatives of the FCT Police Command, led by the Commissioner of Police, CP Bennett Igwe, himself stormed the hills and thick bushes surrounding Zone A and B of the Apuri settlement and its environment on April 1st, 2024 at about 11 a.m. to place some security measures in the area as it is perceived to be kidnappers' routes and criminal hideouts." The chairman House of Representative Committee on Disability says the unfortunate discriminatory treatment at Debola Daniel by the KFC outlet at the Murtala International Airport is a wake-up call for the full implementation of the Disability Act signed into law in 2019 by the previous administration. And still in the news, the Private Telecommunications and Communications Senior Staff Association of Nigeria has declared an indefinite strike effective midnight on Thursday, April 4th, 2024. The union said the decision was deemed necessary due to the relentless anti-labor practices against field engineers perpetrated by subcontractors. According to the PTECSSN, the subcontractors include Remy Group, All Stream Energy Solutions Limited, Upper Crest Limited, Telium Nigeria Limited, and Specific Tools and Techniques Limited, which are purportedly engaged in projects awarded by Hawaii Technology Nigeria Limited. The union says the grievances against these subcontractors include the appalling working conditions resembling modern-day slavery, a lack of entitlement commensurate with workers' efforts, and the absence of adequate security measures, especially during late-night field assignments. The Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, in collaboration with key stakeholders, has commenced the process of developing a smart curriculum for bilingual education in Nigeria. Head Public Relations and Protocol, Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, David Appiah, in a statement in Abuja, disclosed that the Commission recently held a workshop of curriculum adaptation for the bilingual schools where experts had brainstorming sessions on coming up with the best curriculum for unique schools. He says the Deputy Executive Secretary Technical of UBEC, Professor Bala Zakari, who doubles as the project supervisor for the bilingual education program in Nigeria, called for a standardized approach in the development of bilingual education curriculum. Zakari noted that UBEC is working to ensure the success of the bilingual education program right from the construction of the schools in 9 focus states to the engagement of experts in a series of programs. The Nigerian Army 35 Artillery Brigade, Mala Abeokuta, said it has handed over 441 purposive substances suspected to be cannabis sativa, weighing 223 kilograms, to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ogun State Command. Acting Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, 35 Artillery Brigade, Mala Abeokuta, Lieutenant Mohammed Goni, stated this in a statement made in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. Goni said the troops of the brigade had intercepted a Mazda bus with plate number NRK 622SB conveying the substance to the Mologbede village in Odeda local government area of the state. He said the Commander 35th Artillery Brigade, Brigadier General Mohammed Aminu, commended the troops for their efforts, urging them to continue to remain vigilant in their various locations. You're watching News Cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Cycle returns, Naira sells below 1,280 Naira to $1 at official and parallel markets. These and other stories coming right after this break. To stay with us. Welcome back from the break. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of News Cycle. Thank you for staying with us. On the foreign scene, at least 7 people were killed and more than 700 injured by a powerful earthquake in Taiwan that damaged dozens of buildings and prompted tsunami warnings that extended to Japan and the Philippines before being lifted. Officials said the quake was the strongest to shake the island in 2 decades and warned of more tremors in the days ahead. The Naira began the new month on a bullish note, appreciating to 1,278.58 Naira against the United States dollar from 1,309 Naira 39 kobo per dollar recorded last week. This indicates an increase of 30 Naira 81 kobo at the close of trading activities. According to data from the FMDQ Securities, the indicative exchange rate for the Nigerian autonomous foreign exchange market closing below 1,300 Naira ceiling marks the first instance since January 26 of this year. The Naira depreciated to as low as 1,615 Naira to $1 on March 13, 2024. Since the introduction of a slew of forex policies by the central bank, the Naira has gained over 21% on the dollar since March. The Nigerian Automotive Industry Development Plan Implementation Committee will address the challenges of reliance on imported vehicles in the country. The Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council, Joseph Osanipin, made this disclosure in a statement. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Nkiruka Uzoka Enete, inaugurated the committee with membership from relevant federal ministries and agencies of the government in Abuja. Osanipin said the new auto policy was signed in the year 2023 with the sole aim of curtailing Nigeria's almost total dependence on imports of automobiles, adding that the implementation would meet a significant proportion of demand through domestic production of vehicles and components. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, has approved an increase of electricity tariff to 225 Naira, $0.15 per kilowatt hour from 68 Naira. This is a 300% hike and takes effect from April 1st, 2024. However, it will be for urban consumers, also known as Band A consumers in the country. Accordingly, power distribution companies, DISCOs, are allowed to raise electricity tariff to 225 Naira, $0.15 per kilowatt an hour from April 1st. Also, Oseni clarified that the rate increase will only affect 15% of the electricity consumers in the country. Oseni also revealed that the 15% customers consume 40% of the nation's electricity. A coalition of civil society organizations led by the Network Against Corruption and Trafficking Initiative has urged the House of Representatives Committee on Public Petitions to accelerate its efforts in addressing petitions against indicted public officials. The CSOs expressed their concerns over the delayed response to petitions highlighting alleged financial infractions committed by individuals holding public office. These infractions include money laundering, corruption, abuse of office, and false asset declarations. The CSOs called on President Tinubu to build on his administration's commitment to physical integrity and governance accountability by supporting legislative efforts to tackle the corrupt activities undermining the government's reformative hope mantra. No fewer than 15 universities in the United Kingdom have announced plans to sack some workers and even stop running some courses because of the sharp decline in enrollment by foreign students, including Nigerians. The sharp decline in foreign student enrollment was particularly felt at the postgraduate level. The development is also connected to the decision by the UK government to reduce international students as some concessions giving them that level have been whittled down. Also, there are concerns too that the high cost of living being experienced globally may negatively affect the enrollment of foreign students at the undergraduate level. The volume of dollar traded in the official Nigerian foreign exchange market increased year on year by 95% to $12.68 billion in the first quarter of the year, from $6.5 billion in the first quarter of 2023. The sharp increase reflects in part recent measures by the Central Bank of Nigeria to liberalize the forex market and improve dollar supply into the country. Analysis shown of the data on the daily transactions provided by the FMDQ showed that the market recorded turnover of $2.14 billion in January, which increased by 133.6% to $5 billion in February and ended up by 10.8% to $5.54 billion in March. Analysis of transactions in March showed that the turnover stood at $296 million on the first day of March and $1.15 billion in the second week. On the entertainment scene, Nigerian music sensation Burna Boy has clinched the title of Best African Music Art at the 2024 iHeart Radio Music Awards held in the United States. The highly anticipated event, broadcasted live and hosted by rapper Ludacris, Burna Boy rise to the top of the African music category, marking a significant achievement in his career. Adding to the Nigerian triumph, Rema's track Calm Down, featuring Selena Gomez, secured the title of Best Collaboration of the Year, further solidifying Nigeria's presence on the international music scene. With their wins at the iHeart Radio Music Awards, Burna Boy and Rema now stand alongside fellow Nigerian artists Wizkid and Terms as recipients of the esteemed accolade. Prior to his triumph at the iHeart Radio Music Awards, Burna Boy had faced disappointment at several award shows, including the Beat Hip Hop Awards, Grammys, and the NACCP Image Awards and Brit Awards. In sports, South Africa goalkeeper Kelly Swart says Nigeria cannot stop their quest to feature at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. The Elise's side are in Abuja for the first leg of their final round qualifier. Bayana will host the reverse fixture in Pretoria next week, Tuesday. Swart is, however, optimistic Bayana will beat the Super Falcons to the ticket. Playing against Nigeria is always a great battle, she emphasized. And moving to the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden has condemned Israel's killing of 7 humanitarian aid workers in Gaza, saying he was outraged and heartbroken. He accused Israel of not doing enough to protect aid workers. Israel promised an independent investigation after the UK, US, Canada, Australia, and Poland lost nationals in Monday's attack. Israeli President Isaac Herzog has apologized for the death. The 7 victims who were working for World Central Kitchen were killed when their convoy was attacked from the air. President Biden called for Israel's investigation to be conducted swiftly and said it must bring accountability and its findings be made public. He says distributing aid in Gaza had been so difficult, adding that Israel had not done enough to protect aid workers trying to deliver desperately needed help to civilians. Biden also accused Israel of not doing enough to protect Palestinian civilians. Left-wing Pan-Africanist Bashir Diomaye Faye became Senegal's youngest president, pledging systematic change after years of deadly turmoil and announcing his mentor, opposition figure Ousmane Sonko, as prime minister. Faye, 44, has never previously held an elected office. He swept to a first-round victory on the promise of radical reform just 10 days after being released from prison. He took the presidential oath in front of hundreds of officials and several African heads of state at an exhibition center in the new town of Dimadio near Dakar. He then returned to the capital with his motorcade greeted by hundreds of jubilant residents who lined the roads leading to the presidential palace. That's it on News Circle, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times Channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @LiberTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Anthony Momodu saying thank you for watching and see you again.